You ever go to the store for that one thing you wanted and the shelf is completely empty? That's not bad luck. That's the last domino falling in a supply chain held together by ancient software and duct tape. But here's what's fascinating. Some companies are turning that chaos into a serious competitive edge. I'm Mira Vega, and I'm about to show you exactly how they're doing it.
So today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most complex systems you deal with every single day, probably without even realizing it, the food supply chain. We're going to see how the journey from a farm to your grocery store shelf is, believe it or not, a surprisingly chaotic and old-school mess. And we'll see how a major software overhaul is turning all that chaos into a real honest-to-goodness competitive advantage.
We've all been there, right? You go to the store for that one specific kind of chips you love, that particular flavor of seltzer, and nothing. The shelf is bare. It's so frustrating. Well, what if I told you that empty shelf is actually just the last domino to fall in a long chain reaction that starts with, of all things, really old technology? You see, the companies that actually make and get our food to us, they are under an insane amount of pressure from every direction. It's a world of huge volumes and razor-thin profit margins. And right now, that squeeze is tighter than it has ever been. And here's what's wild. These pressures, they don't just add up, they multiply. You've got these massive grocery chains demanding lower and lower prices. At the exact same time, you can't find people to work in the warehouses. Throw in the rising cost of fuel and energy, and boom, you've got a perfect storm. But the real kicker, the thing that makes all of this 100 times worse, it's the ancient, disconnected tech they're all trying to run on. All right, so let's get our hands dirty and dig into this digital mess that's causing all the chaos. And we're not talking about just one bad piece of software. No. This is a whole tangled web of old systems that were never, ever meant to talk to each other in today's world. The industry has a name for this stuff: legacy systems. And honestly, the kitchen analogy here is just perfect. I want you to picture a chaotic kitchen where the baker doesn't know what the grill cook is doing, and the person taking the orders, they can't talk to either of them. That's literally what's happening inside so many of these food companies. Data is trapped, and nobody has the full picture. And the fallout from this, in the real world, it is absolutely staggering. When your main system is all broken up, you get these data silos. When people are literally typing in orders by hand from emails, you get a 15% error rate. I mean, can you imagine? And this last one, this is a silent killer. When companies are trying to manually fight billing disputes with big retailers, they're losing up to 30% of their profit margin. These aren't just small leaks, folks. The ship is taking on water fast. So how do you fix a ship that's taking on that much water? You can't just use duct tape. You need a real strategic overhaul. And in this case, that rescue plan is all built around a major investment in modern software. And step one of this plan is a big one, a $300,000 investment. But look, this isn't just about buying some fancy new software. This is about completely rewiring the company's operational nervous system. It's about making a commitment to stop just reacting to problems and start proactively growing with data. And that gets to the absolute heart of it, right? It's a total shift in thinking. The old way was just patching things up with these tape solutions, these quick fixes that would just break again. The new way? It's about building a single, integrated digital ecosystem. Instead of all these separate manual tasks, you create what they call a single source of truth, a place where everyone, from sales to the warehouse floor, is looking at the exact same real-time information. Okay, so 300 grand and a new philosophy. That sounds great, but what do you actually get for that? Let's break down the 4 core projects that make this whole thing work.
Think of these as the 4 pillars holding up the entire new operation. Each one is specifically designed to smash one of those huge bottlenecks we talked about earlier. And when you put them all together, you get this incredibly powerful, unified engine for growth.
All right, fix number 1. This one tackles the very front door of the business, how orders actually get into the system. And let me tell you, the way it was being done, it was pure chaos.
Just try to picture this. Orders are coming in every way you can imagine. Messy spreadsheets, random emails, weird web portals. So the solution is this really clever AI engine that basically acts like a universal interpreter. It can read any of those formats, understand what it says, check for errors, and boom, it's in the system. No human hands touching it. The impact here is just huge. We're talking about cutting the time it takes to get an order ready to ship by up to 60%.
Okay, next up, we're tackling a problem that quietly bleeds millions of dollars from food brands every single year. It's called retailer deductions.
So, what exactly is a deduction? Well, it's when a big retailer just decides to pay you less than what's on the invoice, claiming there was some kind of shipping mistake or discount they were owed. The thing is, a lot of these are just plain wrong, but trying to fight them one by one is a nightmare. So, this new system is basically an automatic money finder. It's brilliant. It scans every single payment, finds these bogus charges, pulls together all the proof, and automatically files the dispute for you. I mean, we are talking about clawing back hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on autopilot.
All right, our third fix. This one is all about creating total clarity. It's about making sure that every single person in the company is looking at the same playbook at the same time.
You see, a huge problem in this industry is something called overselling. That's when your sales team goes out and promises a customer a product that, well, it isn't actually in the warehouse. It's, as you can imagine, a total disaster for your relationship with that customer. So this new dashboard, it connects everything in real time. Sales can see live inventory before they make a promise. The warehouse knows exactly what's coming down the pipe. And all this visibility, it lets them plan smarter, which leads to this incredible side effect, a 25% reduction in food waste. That is a massive win for profits and for the planet. And that brings us to our final fix. This one tackles another one of those huge hidden problems, how these companies talk to their most important partners. We're talking about the big grocery chains. So when you're dealing with the big retailers, you have to use this really rigid, old-school data format called EDI. If you try to do this by hand, it's super slow, you make mistakes, and then you get hit with all these annoying fees. This new system completely automates that whole data exchange. It's instant, it's accurate. And for their smaller partners, they built a simple little web portal where they can just manage their own orders. It speeds up the whole cash cycle and frees up the sales team to actually sell, not just push paper. Okay, so we've seen the battle plan, 4 targeted software fixes for 4 massive problems. But did it work? What was the actual payoff? Let's get to the good part.
And wow, this is where it gets really dramatic. Honestly, this one chart says it all. With the old paper-based way of doing things, 1 out of every 10 orders picked in the warehouse had a mistake. Think about that. The wrong item, the wrong amount. That means angry customers and expensive returns. With the new system, accuracy jumps to 99.9%. That's not an improvement. That is a total night-and-day transformation. And the results are just incredible across the board. Their workflow efficiency shot up by 60%. That means our food gets to the stores faster and more reliably. They cut food waste by a quarter. They got back a huge piece of that money they were losing to deductions. We're talking 5 to 10% of their entire trade budget. And those annoying paperwork errors, pretty much gone, down 85%. So that $300,000 investment, it wasn't an expense, it was an engine for profit.
There's a quote from the original analysis that just nails the whole point of this. It's not just about patching up what's broken. It's about taking all those operational headaches and turning them into a well-oiled machine that actually drives profitable growth. You turn your biggest weakness into your biggest strength. And you know, this entire revolution happened almost completely behind the scenes. It's invisible to you and me when we're walking down the grocery aisle, but it directly affects what's on the shelf. It really makes you wonder, right? What other huge, essential parts of our world are about to be quietly transformed? Not by some big, flashy invention, but by smarter software working in the background.
The companies winning right now aren't waiting for the next crisis. They're rewiring their operations today. Want to do the same? Join our free school community. You'll get the full white paper on this transformation, plus weekly breakdowns, real implementation templates, and a network of operators who are actually building this stuff. Links in the description. See you inside.